Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my, I want to say long awaited, it's not really long awaited, many requested, what's the word? Heavily requested A-level revision tips video. I'm just going to start off by saying what exams I'm doing. I'm doing physics, maths and geology. Last year I did history, I did an AS in history. I'm in year 13 at the moment, so I'm doing my A2s, and I dropped it. I got a C. I didn't do too badly, but it wasn't what I was predicted, and I just fell out. I don't fall out of history, that's kind of like a bit dramatic. It did not fit with my other subjects, so you know, it didn't really work, and that's the kind of big difference between A-level and GCSE. You can't just do a subject because you like it, like, you've got to really have a plan. Yeah, I just noticed you can see all my drawers over there open and like messy, but this is the real world, people. We are in the approach to the A-level exams. Nothing matters but those exams at the moment. So yeah, just saying that nothing matters. I have been trying to compile my little revision tips thing. I did just film this video, but I went off on like some massive tangents, and I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long like it was, so I am filming it again. So the first thing I think is really, really vital with kind of, you know, your revision tactics and times at the moment, you really need to stay really motivated. You need to make sure that you know what you want out of this. Like at the moment I'm applying for universities. Well, I've applied for university, I've got my offers back, I know what I need to get. If I want to go there, I've got to get those grades. That's my motivation. You've really got to like just know what you want, you know roughly in your head what you want to get, and try and motivate yourself. If you struggle with motivation, there's plenty of motivational pictures and videos and talks on the internet and things that you can watch and listen to that will help you get motivated. Secondly, you've really, really got to make sure you understand everything, absolutely everything. You can't just sit there and think, okay, I already get that, it'll be fine, just it won't come up, because you just know by your luck it will. And that happened to me last year. There were a couple of things that I kind of thought, oh, I'm not really sure, I'll just like go with it and pretend that that didn't happen, and they came up and I regretted it. And yeah, so you just basically gotta just make sure you're like super motivated, super get everything, ask your teachers, pester your teachers. If you don't get something in the lesson, ask why. That is the key thing. You've just got to keep asking why. You need to understand it. You can't just think, okay, I'll just learn it nearer the time, because you are too near to the time now to just start thinking, right, I'm just going to learn it, I'm just going to learn it, I'm just going to memorise it. Because you should be passionate about your subjects. I'm really passionate about mine, I really enjoy them, and you should want to learn them. You should want to participate in the lessons and kind of really get to grips with your subject, learn as much about it as possible. Like, you really should by this point. And you need to make sure that you are putting in as much effort yourself as your teachers are. My physics teacher always told me that he'll teach me everything I need to know to get an A-star in physics, but what I have, you know, to get the A-star, I have to put some effort in myself. I have to decide, you know, do I want to do the work he's telling me to do? Do I want to really participate in the lesson and make sure I fully understand everything, because that's really the key thing. You've just got to understand it. It's not like GCSEs. You can't just breeze by just pretending you know it and just blabbing your way through it. You've got to put some effort in, and I think that's the big step between GCSEs and A-levels. Next up, lots of teachers tell you need to do reading around the subject. Don't like heavily rely on that, especially coming up to the exams. That's not always what's the most important thing. Make sure you know what you need to know, like you know the syllabus and stuff, and reading around the subject is great. If you have, I mean, I know this is a little bit past it at this time of the year, but if you're watching this next year, at the beginning of the year, thinking, should I be reading around the subject? Do it. It's not going to waste your time. It's really interesting. You know, I would read the Geoscientist magazine for like geology stuff and physicsy things. It is really interesting. Just don't like try and read around the subject as you're coming up to exams. It's helpful if you've got university interviews and stuff to know what's going on in your field that you're applying for. But don't make that your like #1 priority. Make sure you know your stuff for your exams and you understand everything else first, and then kind of go and do more research, I would say. But yeah, it is still like an important thing to do, just don't like make it your #1 priority. Next, I just want to say, do the work. Like I said already, make sure you've done every piece of work your teachers have given you, put in 100% effort, and then your teachers can never complain. If you're still having issues and you've done all the work, you know you're not doing anything wrong, it's just something you need to really pinpoint and figure out. Like last year, I did every single physics exam paper there was, and my teachers always told me, you know, do more papers, do all of the papers, and you'll get it, trust me, you'll get it. And I was like, still didn't get it, I've done all the papers, so I knew there was other things that were wrong and I could kind of fix that. And yeah, just making sure that you're covering all bases, you've done every past paper. That is a really, really key thing if you're doing revision at the moment for A-levels. Past papers are the #1 tool. I mean, I use things like revision cards and stuff all the time. I get revision cards from WH Smith's, and this little plastic A6 wallet is from Ryman's. And yeah, so this is on thermal physics, and you know, I go through, I make revision cards. Some may have loads on, some may have very, very little on. Diagrams, equations, just everything, just condense stuff onto these, and they're just really good to just flash out if you're like, oh, I can't really remember anything on thermal physics, I can just grab these and I'm ready to go. Another thing you really need to do is talk to other people who are doing the same subjects as you. You can't do this alone, like you've got to communicate with other people. If you don't get something, ask one of your colleagues, co-students, what's the word, like fellow student people in your class, ask someone else, see what their opinion is, see if they can find a way to explain it different to your teacher, because they might find a way that they've learnt it, like a song, or they may have seen a really useful YouTube video or something like that, and they may find that really useful and then be able to help you and show you it, and so on and so forth, and then you can understand it. And explaining things to other people really helps to consolidate your knowledge and like confirm that you really do understand a subject. If you can explain the subject to someone else, then you know that you know it. Like, as long as you're explaining it correctly, obviously, don't teach people wrong things. If you're not sure, it's best to say and not say, oh yes, I know what it is, blah blah blah, because then you're only hindering yourself, you know, you're hindering other people, not just yourself. So yeah, don't do that. I've seen a couple people do that before and I was like, not good. Yeah, in terms of doing past papers, don't just mark them all yourself. Your teachers will be like, yes, yes, marking them yourself is the best method. Give something to your teachers. If they don't like marking them, then just be like, please, 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 I'm not sure if I'm marking it right, because I used to mark all my own papers. Turns out I was a really, really harsh marker. I would never give myself like any benefit of doubt marks or anything. I didn't realise that you could get method marks and things still without getting like the right numbers and things. I didn't get that. I didn't read through the mark schemes properly. I didn't know the mark schemes well enough, you know, I didn't know what the actual system was really. So I was dropping like 2 grades compared to what my teachers were giving me, so that's a really useful tip, I think. Don't just rely on your own marking. You know, your teachers may tell you that's the best method and blah blah blah, but it's not always. Another thing I do when I'm doing a paper is, if I really don't get a question, even when I've marked it, I will stick a little red dot next to it, so that then I know when I go into my lesson next, I can just stick that there and be like, and I'll just flip through my book and I'll see it. I tend to do like maths past papers and things in just a book, like a textbook, because I do OCR maths and they give you like a separate book with all your questions, and then you get an answer book, but I only print out the question book because the answer books are like 20 pages long and I just use a squared paper book, like a textbook at home. So I do that, and then I colour code the questions, you know, green if I 100% get it, fine, and then yellow if I'm like, and then I'll, amber, and so on and so forth. You know, you can make up your own colour coding systems and things. I have like little, these kinds of wallets where I keep all of my papers and things in. Yeah, I have these kinds of wallets and things that I keep loads of past papers in and stuff. And so, oh, by the way, I'm doing OCR, geology and maths, but not the MEI one. I'm doing the like straight up maths one. And then physics, I'm doing AQA physics, like course A. Just in case anyone's wondering, because you're doing similar subjects to me, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, physics is difficult this year because it's split into loads of different like things. You have like a multiple choice paper, you have like a normal paper, and then you have section Unit 5 is like split in 2 again. It's just complicated and annoying. And if you are doing your ASs at the moment, try to aim to not have to redo any of those. I know that sounds silly, but I think people sometimes in their ASs just sit there and think, oh, it's fine, I can retake. Don't let yourself get to that stage. Like, if you are like the day before the exam and you're thinking, I'm gonna fail this, I'm gonna do so bad, just don't tell yourself that. You've just got to calm yourself down and just be like, look, I can do this. You know, if I get a D, so be it, but try and do your best. Don't just like think, oh my god, it's a week before, I don't get it, I'm just gonna wing it. Don't wing it. You can't wing A-level exams, that's just a myth. Like, you can wing GCSE ones, okay, you can't wing A-level exams. Just don't even try. It's not worth it. So yeah, overall you just really need to stay motivated. You need to have a clear image of what you want in your head. You need to try out different revision methods as well. Like, I haven't really touched on that much. Just trying different things. You should know roughly what your revision style is from your GCSEs, but if you don't, try things. I like making posters, anything with colour on. I invest in a good set of colouring pens and, you know, I'm good to go. I've got A3 paper, A4 paper, just making sure that you've got stuff to enable you to revise and things you can use to help you. And being organised is such a key thing. You've really got to know when, you know, when your exams are. You've got to be prepared for them. Make sure you're taking the right equipment into your exams with you, making sure that you've got the right equipment in the first place. Don't just wake up in the morning and go, ah, I don't have a black pen. Because if you don't have a black pen and you sit down on the desk and the staff say, no, I don't have a black pen either, you cannot take your exam. A-level's over. Like, you've just got to be prepared. It's, you know, you're getting on to being, what, like 17, 18 now. You need to get your head in the game and sort your life out and do your A-levels and not cry when you fail them, because there is more to life than A-levels. But if you want to go to university, you can leave them anyway, so bear that in mind. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I can't remember if I said or not, I want to do a Q&A on like exams and schoolwork and like that kind of a thing. Anything to do with like schools, revision, exams, I'm doing a Q&A. Leave me questions down below. I'm also going to post a picture on Instagram nearer to the time when I film it, so if you see that, leave a comment and I'll answer that. And I might tweet. I never use Twitter, but I might tweet, you know, break the ground and the rules and the world and all of that stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm really hoping I said everything I want to say. I've said everything on my sheet of paper in front of me, but that doesn't mean I've said everything I want to say. So yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well, and I will see you next time. Bye!